All right, someone asked a very interesting question. Is it as cheap on Saipan as it is in, say, Philippines or Thailand? And the reason that's an interesting question is because the person who's asking it is putting it in the same category as Philippines and Thailand. However, the thing to understand is those are foreign countries with their own currency, so there's an exchange rate between US dollar and the Philippines peso and the Thai baht, and so that's what accounts for the cheapness. You know, the fact that your dollar can go a long way in the Philippines, that your U.S. dollar can go a long way in Thailand. But Saipan, on the other hand, is a U.S. territory. So when you arrive here with your U.S. dollar, you only have a U.S. dollar. So, and then most of the stuff is about the same price. People say a lot of stuff is more expensive. In many cases it is. For example, gasoline prices are much higher because of the shipping, but some things are much cheaper. So the rent is much cheaper, for example, than you would pay in a big city in the States. There's no property taxes, there's no sales tax, there's no parking meters. You know, there are no meter maids who have quotas to fill that will give you $100 tickets for parking next to a hydrant. So life in general I find to be much cheaper here. But again, it is part of the US. And even though our economy is a little bit different and is affected more by what's going on in Asia, it is still the US. So you don't have that same exchange rate advantage that the US dollar would bring if you were in Philippines or Thailand. So keep that in mind. But again, in my opinion, and based on the lifestyle that I live, I still find it cheaper to live here than I would in the States. And something else just came up to one of my tour guests. A lot of people over the years, I've met friends who've actually decided that they wanted to leave Saipan and go to the States to live. And one of the things I prepared them for is that although they may make more dollars per hour, higher minimum wage, it is more than likely that they'll end up spending much more than they would here. You know, like I said, no property tax, no sales tax. Yeah, I mean, there's almost effectively a fee just for stepping out of your house, you know, in the States, especially in the big cities like New York. So I tell people to be prepared that, in my opinion, life is actually better here and than it is in the States. Even though you may make more money, you spend more of it on rent, you spend more of it on parking tickets and that sort of thing. So my answer is, it is probably not as cheap as living in the Philippines or Thailand with the US dollar, but I believe you can hang on to more of your money if you are here living on Saipan. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Again, I live a very minimalist lifestyle. I'm not spending money on fashion, as you can tell. So I don't use air conditioning. I don't need to buy a fancy car, you know, every few years. So my expenses are, and I'm vegan and I eat one meal a day. So, you know, so my expenses are less than the average. But hope that helps. Ask whatever you like in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.
Subscribe.
You know, hear what the man say.